Hello, everyone. This is Daniel. My name is Daniel Schmidt, and I'm just here recording a short video, maybe 10 minutes long. I like to keep my videos under 10 minutes. Um, I find that people who record YouTube videos, if they do it under 10 minutes, I keep my attention, and if it's past 10 minutes, I usually find it boring anyways. Some people actually record videos that are like 2.5 hours long, and I just don't understand why that's even necessary. Just divide it up if you have to, then that way more people view it. So anyways, this video is actually about why I chose kettle corn, and as I'm recording, I'm going to actually try and insert some photographs. So I'm currently learning myself how to do graphic design. Again, I'm also learning new software. I'm learning the Adobe Premiere Suite right now, and I'm using QuickTime to record my video now. So, long story short, so I actually lost my job as a waiter at a elderly center in 2010, and I got declined unemployment. And the interesting thing is that this was at the height of the recession. 2008 to 2010, job prospects were very bad. Like, everyone was looking for a job. People were out of work. The real estate industry crashed, and so 2010, I actually saw on Craigslist or either in the paper or on Craigslist that there was a job fair at Phoenix, Arizona University, and I went to the job fair, and I was really just hopeless because there was 500 people or more around the block of the actual university. So I went there not expecting anything, and the other disappointing thing is that at that time, this is 9 years ago, almost 10 years ago, everyone wanted to have you just upload an application online. It's like, if you're here in person interviewing for a job, what's the point of applying online? I mean, I want to be hired on the spot. I want to start tomorrow. I'm ready to work. So, anyways, long story short, I go to the job interviews and go to various people like Safeway, Albertsons, all the places that were hiring. And I run into a small little company called Kettle, and I started working. Actually, was interviewed by Aaron and Aaron, Jeff, and Bill. Jeff and Bill were two owners at one point. They actually were now one, and then now it's just Jeff. And I interviewed with Aaron 3 times at the shop, and I ended up working as a helper initially, and then I got promoted to being sales, and then I got sales lead, and then I left after 4 years. So I actually I went from 2010 to 2014. I actually made my own kettle corn with another company called Kettle, and we did 80 to 100 markets a week. We did almost 80 to 100 markets a week during the summertime. We did about 20 to 40 during the wintertime. I was one of the associates that actually worked year round and still did markets during the wintertime, as horrible as they were. And by the time I left, I was actually at 850 markets. The interesting thing was that they actually had this thing where if you got 1,000 markets, they gave you a cruise. But I decided to quit a little bit early. I met my then girlfriend and now my wife. A few of the issues, they cut my pay the last year, and I just wasn't. You get burned out doing it for somebody else for so long. I mean, I was doing 6 to 7 markets a week. Sometimes I did 2 in a day. That's a market from 8 to 12, then shut down and then go do maybe an event from 3 to 7 on a Saturday evening, and then come back home after a 15-hour day. It really wipes you out physically, but it keeps your mind off things. If you're that kind of a person where you got to be busy and you like being outside, this is the best job ever. So, what I'm here to talk about is the pros and cons of being a kettle corn maker, and basically my experiences. I'll definitely start with maybe some of the pros. So, the pros is that it's really early in the morning. Most of my markets, except for one, are between hours of 9 and 1. Actually, was when I worked for Kettle, I did a market between 8 and 12. I was actually done at 12. Like, people literally left at 12. Most of my markets are between 9 and 1. I have one 11 to 4. I have one on Tuesday between 12 and 6. The hours are great. And I have a strong customer base at the markets. This is actually my second year of business. So I started my business last year. I'm outside every day. It's physically demanding. I'm hoping that I can compensate my lack of exercise or interest in exercise to do this job that will, keep me off the weight. Uh, make sure I eat healthier, etc., etc. Anyways, when you pop a batch of kettle corn, there's this something about it. You have that smell. The smell can go for blocks away, even if you're a terrible salesperson and you don't know how to sell anything. You have no experience. You've never sold a thing. Computers, cash, cars, whatever, you name it. If you pop a fresh batch of kettle corn, someone will come by and say, "Hey, I smelled that kettle corn 3 miles away or whatever, 1 mile away. I'm here to buy a bag. I'm addicted to that smell." That's a real sales point right here. The other thing is that I decided to do my own thing as well, and I wanted to make kettle corn because that's what I'm used to, as well as I did the research, and out of all the things at the markets, that's the highest profit margin. I mean, the only thing that you're going to come close to is maybe hot dogs, and people are actually staying away from hot dogs or the processed type food. So with kettle corn, it's really three ingredients. You have the corn, the sugar, and the oil. And I actually bought a bag of organic corn not too long ago at Restaurant Depot for $20 a bag for a 50-pound bag of corn, and it tastes great. So it's come a long way as far as like it's healthy. And then once you buy the actual equipment, um, you can reuse the equipment and it stays good forever. Whereas if you use a deep fryer or whatever, or if you use other things that might break down or not, the kettle itself is this pretty much a big chunk of steel, and the worst thing that you might have to replace is the regulator that's behind the kettle, or the tubing, the copper tubing. I don't remember the name of it, but that's a real pain if you have to actually replace it. But beyond that, it's a setup for dummies. I mean, you really have to be stupid to cause an accident or to hurt yourself or to hurt somebody else. And then, believe it or not, there's actually been situations on people doing that, and I could actually maybe do another video of that. I've actually seen several people make mistakes, cause accidents, fires, etc. The other thing is, as far as the profit margin goes, you can actually use your profit margin for a little bit of wiggle room, like offer $1 off if you buy more, or offer bulk sales. Give like 15-20% for a fundraiser, which is what I plan on doing in the future. I plan on making a nice flyer to advertise my business even more, to do weddings and corporate events. And the great thing is that the popcorn itself, once you make it and you actually wrap it up in your bag, it stays good for at least a couple weeks. I tested the non-sugary corn bags; they stay fresh for about a week. The sugar bags, the kettle corn bags, they stay fresh for about 2 weeks, and the caramel corn stays fresh for months. It doesn't go bad at all. So that being said, you take home the cash, you do the inventory, you do the sales. Once you make a profit, it feels great. I mean, we all have bad days, we all have good days. The other thing here is once you do have a bad day, the worst comes to worst, you shut down, you lose your money, but you don't you can if you can actually pack up your food and actually reuse it again. It's not like turkey or a processed product where it has a shelf life, whereas corn and sugar and oil stays fresh for months. I mean, I can put it away and wrap it in my trailer and then bring it back out again, and it can still be fresh for the next season. I don't have to worry about not selling it. And the only thing I miss is my customer base. So I started with my business at the farmers markets last year. I'm used to selling personally at farmers markets. I actually did my first big event last year, and it went actually not last year, last 2 weeks ago at the Annapolis Boat Show, and it went great. And I think I'll probably have to do another video of cons in the next video, because I really want to get over that 10 minutes, and then I'll talk about the history of my business. But the Annapolis Boat Show was my first event, and even though my wife and I barely broke even, we made a lot of networking for maybe future events. We're going to go back to the big one in the fall, where there's twice as many more people. And we were both exhausted at the end of the day. It almost killed us, but we had a lot of fun. We got tips. We got to trade. That's the other great thing, is that I get to trade a lot of food for myself at the markets during the week. I get fresh strawberries. I get fresh blueberries. I bring it back a kettle corn, and I say, hey, would you like to trade for a medium thing of strawberries? They'd say, here, have a whole box, and I'll just bring a whole box. So, anyways, this is Schmitty's Kettle Corn. Please like my page on Facebook. Um, if you have any more questions or want to give me advice or want to send me a shout out, feel free to like me on schmitty'skettlecorn.org or my Facebook page, Schmitty's Kettle Corn, and then I'm also here on YouTube. And you can also just like me on Facebook. Anyways, thanks a lot, you guys. Have a good day. Bye.